Hello, hello. Hello, it's Laura. I'm trying to flip my... Hello, world. Hi, Carrie. It's Laura from Fashion Illustration Tribe. I know you already know me, but maybe some of you don't. I'm a fashion designer and illustrator. Hi, Dawn. And I'm really passionate about creativity. I'm a singer and performing artist as well. Hi, Gloria. Thank you all for stopping in. I have I had a great insight today that I wanted to talk about. So that's why I'm on here. It's my mess behind me. I'm always starting things.
It's not a mess.
Oh, it's not a mess. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Dawn. So happy to see you. So here's the thing. What I hear more than ever, always from people, is that they're scared about drawing and scared to create art and scared to learn. And I had a special training like 10 years ago to this Music Together. It's an early childhood music and movement program that taught me so much about learning and the arts. Because it was a mommy and me thing, we learned how to teach both the child and the caregiver. You're gonna have to plug it back in. You're pulling it, pull it up this way, sweetheart. It's tangled. And so the big thing we have to do is untangle the fear. Okay, thank you for sharing. Untangling the fear. And that's why, I also studied to help women in childbirth, to be a doula. Same thing. Pain without fear is totally different than pain plus fear. So pain is growth a little bit, right? Pain can be expansion. Pain can also be a good sign to stop something, right? But discomfort can be actually an expansion. So what happened today was the reason I jumped on here without like a lesson in I taught my son to drive for the first time. He's 14 and a half. Hi, Dominique. And we went up to this abandoned area. And you just put that down for a second while you plug this back into the wall. I'm mothering at the same time. Expand, the word for the year. Now, expansion, there's different kinds. There's something that could be like violent expansion, is when you feel just pushed and not honored. And then there's another kind of expansion that is kind and that helps you become more of yourself, of who you always were or who you wanted to be. Everything in my whole life is like breaking. Okay. Right? So this is also something like through doulaing I learned about, how do we not feel violated as we're growing? How do we feel safe and secure and supported? Part of that is by being safe and secure and supported. And Dominique, you're a very accomplished and wonderful artist. And you shared with me, and we all have, a lot of art teachers can be abusive. And people who get that often will pass that on. Fortunately, I never had an art teacher like that. But it seems to be very commonplace, both in music and in performing arts and in visual arts. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate so much. Karen, hi Karen. How's your special project going? Okay, and there's more. There's more. But hi. So I was just teaching my son to drive, not even to drive for the first time. Oh my gosh, I see all these beautiful hearts and all these colors. Angie, just keep that a little bit low so I can think for a few more minutes. We're teaching him to drive standard. Does anyone here drive standard with a stick shift? That's how I learned. And this is what I want to talk about, is that when you're learning to drive standard or learning to drive at all, I've been putting this off because I'm so terrified. Okay, you all drive standard. Okay, so you have the steering wheel. You have the gears to think about. Okay, Gloria, so just imagine. Soda fit. Hang on, I always get confused. Dirt. That's Andrea. Sure, Andrea. Andrea. Hi. Okay, when you're driving stick, you have to think about the gear shifts. You have to think about the clutch. did you do? You're such a good student. You're so smart, Andrea. Andrea in the house. By the way, Perry votes. Andrea's in the top running for educator. What is it called? Perry what? Perry Awards. Best educator. Yes, you should use your own body for the model. I want to teach you in a way that all the body parts, you're learning that you can make them in all arrangements, that you build the body out of forms. And with the big trend of fashion learning, fashion availability that came out in the past few years, it was all very, yes, Soda Fit. Andrea, can you please put the Perry Awards hashtag so people know where to go on Facebook to vote for you? You can vote for multiple educators. You can vote for me too. I'm way further down the list. Perry Awards under Best Educator. Facebook, Perry Awards. You have to join the group, but it only takes a second to join. And then you just click on the name. Yeah. Right? Go, Andrea! She's all the way up the top. So deserving. So listen, when you're driving stick, Perry Awards, but it's one word, Perry Awards. Yes? Okay. Karen is KO illustration. Karen, please put your information up for Dominique. Dominique, have you seen Karen's scopes? You need to see. Thanks, Gloria. Oh, see, that's the thing. When you feel confident, thanks, Karen. Yeah, you need to see Karen. Follow Karen. Dominique, follow Karen now. KO illustration. Got it? Karen, can you throw up some emojis so she can click on you to follow you? You click her name and you'll be able to follow her. So when you feel confident, and we don't all feel confident all the time, but sometimes we tap in and we know who we are, we know what we want, and we know what we can do. When you're in that place, you take your best action. You always can take your best action. When you're feeling really low and insecure and attacking yourself, you won't take your best action. You can still take action. You can even move into a better feeling place. But take your... One of the biggest parts of being able to thrive is to be in an encouraging and supportive environment. I'm so glad to hear that, Andrea. And I know that it's a personal thing too. Some teachers will really resonate with you. Some teachers will rub you the wrong way. And, you know, I'm sure I'm not for everybody, but you should definitely go with your gut. Everything I teach you is going to give you tools, but they're not rules. So you try them on, you run with them, and then you ditch them and do your way. But I promise that I'm giving you a wide range of tools. And here's what I have. He was really 9 heads. I get even more, I don't know if it bothers me more when a man teaches that or when a woman teaches that. But it's just so old school and unsophisticated to draw women for design. And they're not relating, even to supermodels don't look like that, right? So let's do women that we are. We're so beautiful. So the thing is, I wanted to say is when you're driving, learning to drive, it's like man problem. I think it's a man thing. I don't know what it is. I don't even have time to bother with that. I don't know why it is, but I'm done. We are done with this, right, ladies? I mean, at least my mannequin, you know, can relate to my body. And your sketches should relate to your mannequin. It all goes together. But when you have to think about the clutch, the gear, the brake, the gas, okay, that coordination, you can't possibly learn. Good. I love curves too. I always wish I had more. Hi, Elisha. Thanks for coming on. When you start to drive standard, you can't not have a learning curve. You can't know how to like let up the clutch and add the gas and get into gear and move forward without stalling a whole bunch of times. I'm feeling much better, not 100%, but I'm feeling better. And I'm singing today, so I will scope from my gig. It's a lot of info for anyone to learn at one time. Yes, Karen. Well, I think even men, you know, they want us to be beautiful. Sure, post it in the class. Send it to me at info@fashionillustrationtribe.com. If you fold your paper in half, you'll be able to see how symmetrical it is. And you only need symmetry for creating the flat sketches, for the technical drawings. Your posed figures will always be different. Oh, it's you! I'm sorry. I thought you meant your drawing. Yeah, you could send to me. It's just for me. So, and then I can, because you said it's pretty symmetrical, right? You could work with half. You could take a ruler, draw down the center. Here's another thing. If you're drawing your own body, it depends on the camera angle. Because if you take a photo from above, head will look very big. Hi, I haven't seen you in a long time, Panidam. Long time. Head will look very big, legs will look short. And if the photo's taken from below, legs will look very long, head will look tiny. Good. You should always aim that camera parallel to your body and aim for either chest or like belly button. So it's probably a really good body type. That's okay. We'll work on that. But here's the thing. When you're drawing and when you're learning fashion illustration, thank you for the heart so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When you're learning fashion illustration, you have a clutch. You have gears. Okay, because we have. Hi, Fada. We're talking about my son starting to learn to drive standard. He's learning to drive stick shift. And there's no way. It's the same thing in fashion illustration. Taking shots from above makes your head look huge, and then it looks like your feet are coming out of your chin. Hubs took some, but reluctant. I understand. Keep those shots, and I'm going to develop a workshop just for sketching ourselves. This is something we have to have also on the side. But I'm supportive. Anyone who wants to work on me with that, you're so welcome, because it could be nothing closer to my heart. We all have to get in this habit of sketching our bodies. And I don't know about you guys, but my body changes all the time. It's always changing. So when you're starting to draw, you can't possibly get all the parts at once, okay? It's going to be like, one thing you're thinking about anatomy and proportion. Then you're thinking about the line quality, the light, the dark, the soft, the crisp. Then you're thinking about women, the mood of the woman. Then you're thinking about the clothes, the details in the clothes. Isn't she amazing? There's too much to think about all at once. So when you start doing your illustrations, you might get one where she's in proportion, she's standing, she's balanced, but hi, good afternoon. Hello, Art Studio. Let me just say hello so I can meet you. Larissa. Hi, Larissa. Hey, and you scope about art. That's awesome. We got to check out your scopes. Oh, I forgot to follow you back. Wait, now your name's not there. Robin. I was here. When you're first drawing, what I do when I'm teaching fashion illustration, I'm going to give you a different gear every week. And you can't get it all at once at first. Okay? It's okay. You're going to get one aspect at a time. Hi, Dawn. So, first you might get into the habit of sketching lightly. That might be a new tool for you. But then you don't like the way the drawing looks. Okay, but you got one new skill. 1 week we'll sketch bodies but not clothes, which a lot of people aren't that happy about because they really came here to draw clothes. But there's always a reason, I promise you. Because if you're drawing the body, you're learning to draw. A lot of you are still just learning to draw. You're not even ready to draw anything else yet. Okay? And then you'll do another drawing where you got the details on the clothes but the proportions are wrong. It's okay. But this is what happens is you've got your clutch, you got your brake, you got your gears, you have the road. And bringing all those things together doesn't happen in a balanced way yet. So you might really tune in to proportion and your line is like, bleh. You might really tune into the detail and then realize that the girl you drew looks like she's falling over. Not yet. Give me 10 more minutes. You know I need to do this, okay? Angie wants her mama time. Okay. But it is like learning driving. So you're going to stall the car, but you're in the driver's seat. You've turned the car on and you're starting to move. And the first thing you're going to do is stall and stall and stall. You got to have some of that faith, you know, like like riding a bicycle. How hard is that the first time? Once you start to coast without falling and are able to push the brakes and not fall, you're like, I've got this. I've got this. Then you can get fancy. You can start doing wheelies and turning curves and going on a bumpy road. It's hard to learn as an adult. They say learning languages is harder for adults. As an adult, always slip in the glass. As an adult, why is it harder to learn? I will tell you now that I've raised 3 kids. Because adults learn judgment. Children don't have judgment as early as adults do. And it's the judgment that stops you in your tracks. And so, I just got goosebumps. Learning art is a spiritual path. It involves faith. It involves persistent practice, bringing yourself to the journey. And it involves non-judgment, which is the most important journey you will ever be on. Itty bitty shitty. Again, it will come back to you again and again. Yes, Color Joy. Yes. Is that Lynn? Lynette? Ooh. Anyone can do it. I know this. You got to follow Karen because she will bring you down to that. She doesn't think she's teaching. That's fine. Karen thinks she's not a teacher, but she will. Lynn, that's right. She'll always bring it down to we're just people. We're just doing stuff. But you bring yourself back to the drawing board again and again. I think that when you have a teacher, you're a trick giver. It's all tricks, right? Karen will be like, my dog could do this. That's a quote. That's a tweet. KO illustration. My dog could do this. It's a trick. It's tricks. And it's tools. And when you have a teacher, somehow it has to resonate with you so that you can trust them. You got to believe in them. And when the student's ready, the teacher will come. I won't be the teacher for everybody. And I have noticed some people want more abuse from their teacher. And that's fine. It's not my method. A lot of people want more abuse. They want to be like told that they're like bad or something. But what I've noticed, thank you, what works for me is seeing that flame, seeing the voice in there and blowing on that flame and watching it grow and grow and grow. When you line up your tools and add your tricks, I call that a businesswoman. I think what makes a businesswoman is income. Still working on that. But I'm very excited to connect with business women, artisans. I think we all have so much to offer. Business does not require teaching. True. We're getting there. So the thing is, for one thing, in my class, I give everyone a different tool each week. So it's going to be like a model drawing there. I love teaching. I love teaching because I remember being given new hands and being given new eyes. And how much power that gave me and how much freedom and how that allowed me to expand. So my goal is to do that for others. You know, to watch that, watch you go through the wall and hit the other side on many levels, right? To get that, that discovery that you can do what you didn't think you could do. Takes a leap of faith. Takes some pixie dust. It takes a sense of humor, I believe, is essential. You need to have a little bit of humor. You need to be in an environment where you feel safe to break down, to laugh at yourself, and to pick up and start again. Most often, you will see your errors and you won't recognize your successes. I have been lucky that I've been teaching fashion illustration and design. That I can see what's happening that's positive, perhaps that you can't. And we all have that. That's, again, the spiritual journey, is that we are reflected in each other. We can't see who we are by ourselves so much. We can, but when we start to hear it reflected back through other people seeing our work, through us sharing it, through someone telling us how they see us, right? Because for us, we're like zero. We're so used to ourselves. We're used to our drawings. We're used to our thought patterns. We're used to our personalities. But when someone else reflects back their reaction to us, we're so surprised. Oh, goosebumps, you know. Someone will be like, how did you do that? Or, wow, I love the way you see color. It makes me feel like this. And you're like, oh, I just did that. Thanks, Andrea, for coming by. I can't wait to see your drawings. I'm glad you're applying yourself already. You probably don't need a lot of those art supplies. The only thing I would recommend that you get, Andrea, is the watercolors and the colored pencils. You don't need anything else. I don't think so. Maybe the Bristol paper. You have all that. There you go. See you on the other side. I can't wait to catch some of your scopes soon. I hope everyone, vote for Perry Awards. Andrea. Oh, you ordered everything. Awesome. Thanks for stopping in, Andrea. So, I don't know if you drive stick shift. But what's going to happen is at first you're going to say, ugh, none of this stuff comes together. Well, here's the thing, Carrie. You don't... Hi, Howard. Hey. Lorenzo's upstairs. I'm just doing a quick live stream, but I'm almost done. And he's expecting you. Is that you, we don't, deep down, none of us ever wanted to be better than anybody. Am I right? Like, we want to be good at what we do, but I don't think any of us really wants to believe in a world where we're better. Am I right? Like, which is why I think we even tear ourselves down when we start to put ourselves up. Yeah, we don't want to be better, but we want to be all that we are. We want to be all that we are. And it's inevitable that every student I've ever had has a different, there's no competition because everyone's coming at it for different reasons, with a different story. Yes, we're equal and unique. For some, it's about the craft and the sewing and the making. For some, it's about a thriving business that's ethical. For some, it's, hi, this is a good pep talk, darling. Let me just see. Elaine. Hi, Elaine. For some, it's the fabric. For some, it's the making. For some, it's the illustration. Thank you. Yeah, I think that insecurity is perhaps the voice of all we can be calling us towards it. Hi, Elaine. Welcome. If this is your first time, I'm LVolpintesta. I'm a fashion illustrator and designer and a teacher. and very passionate about everyone accessing their birthright towards art and expression. I'm also extremely passionate about, after getting those skills, that we are able to share them with the outside world in a way that helps us to thrive, to help our families thrive, our businesses. If it's your first time, welcome aboard. I'm a founder of Fashion Illustration Tribe, which is an online fashion illustration and design course, because I've been teaching at Parsons School of Design for 20 years, fashion illustration and design. And some sewing and stuff too, which I scope about all that, different kinds of stuff. But art skills, so many of us come to art because it moves us. And hi, Dawn! I always tell my students, you wouldn't be here if you couldn't do it, because what calls you here is a deep resonance of what you feel and see in the art. Maybe it's because you think you can design it better. Maybe it's because you think you can draw it with more feeling. Maybe it's because you have a certain way you see color. Maybe it's because you have different reasons you come to it. But the desire, you wouldn't even be here if you didn't have access to it. Because if you feel that much about it, then you can cultivate that into the real world. And that is our creative essence. And I think it's beautiful that while we can develop it alone, in the end, I think we are meant to light the way for each other and to nurture each other's growth and to come out into the world in small or large ways. Once you get on the path, thank you for the hearts, thanks for tapping. Once you are on the path will continue to light up in front of you in ways you never expected. Mom, as well. Can you come off the scope? You've been on this for an hour. Okay. Has this scope been an hour long, as Angelina says? Perhaps. Does anyone have any specific question right now or just want to pop in? What?
I'll be back before 3:30, like you said.
Oh, that's okay. I don't have to work till 5:30.
Okay.
I'll take her with me if I have to. So, I do believe that some people will, perhaps in my course, are going to feel like, oh, I'm not good at the body. Oh, I'm not good at working with watercolor. Oh, and hi, Roomba. That's what I like to call Miss RMBA. She's my dance Roomba. Thank you. Hi. I got off topic because they were walking out the door here. Oh, you're always going to be recognizing what you haven't achieved yet and where you feel weak. But once you've tackled each assignment, it's become part of your experience. It's become a notch in your belt. And once you've traveled that road of experience, you're experienced. And every time you go to use that technique or skill again, thank you. I feel that way. Periscope is just crazy that way. How people connect. Don't hound me, Angie. It does seem impossible. Huh? Angie, potty, please. Because you... Angie? I can't think. Give me a second. I'm going to wrap it up. She likes to buy toys, but she doesn't like mom to work. Okay, thank you. So here's the thing. Angie, I can't think. Right? Close the computer right now. I could never draw realistically at all. I showed the other week in the scope, I used to doodle these little overlapping circles, and then I just filled them in. But it brought me peace. Yes, you watch others struggle through learning. And so much of that comes from the judgment place. So, we have to like doula each other through the fear and the self-judgment. And stay focused on the love that got us there in the first place. And then move towards it. Goose, fra, bra. What? real life experience. Yeah, as I'm watching my son, you know, it's like today, first time out driving in the car. Clutch, gear, gas, clutch. Ah, ah, ah. Totally confusing to coordinate all these different skills. When you start fashion drawing, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, the figure, the line, the shape, the shading, I can't possibly bring all these elements together at once. Yeah. You can't possibly bring them all together at once. That's what we're doing in Fashion Illustration Tribe. We're learning to drive stick in the art realm. And you can only, you know, break it down and break it down. You love how I deconstruct the body? Thank you. I'm glad that's been effective for you. See, everything I put in there was what broke it down for me. You know, what made me go, oh, I can do this. Oh, how can it become accessible to you? And then once you get those training wheels on your bike and you start being like, oh, I just built a body. Oh, I just built a body. Then you can keep adding. Oh, now I'm going to add some shadow. I'm going to make a little more 3D. Oh, now I want to, I would like her to feel pretty to me. Or now I would like her to be more like my body. One layer at a time. Especially you, Dawn, because that's how you build. That's your experience. Building with the layers. And I do believe in that strongly. Starting light and soft so that you can see like a ghost of what you're creating. And then like adding in a way that you feel safe. And I think that's a big part of it, is creating a feeling of safety, encouragement, fun, joy. Because I know, not only do I believe, but because I believe, I know that it's true that in safety, we can become what we want to become. And take self-initiated risks rather than feel violated or judged or dominated from the outside. To tap into our source, feel safe enough to expand, to let go, take a risk. And those self-initiated risks, I mean, I'll prod you, but those self-initiated risks are like are leaps of faith that's so much of the magic. So learning art is a technical journey and it's a spiritual journey. Yes, this was church today, or whatever you want to call. Inner growth to risk and to trust yourself. Hi, Sammy. Self-initiated risks. Did I just make that up? I don't know. It just flowed out of me. The risks, the stepping out of the comfort zone. Hi, Sammy. Yes, catch with a T, KATCH.me. So far, like, everything's up there. I haven't organized it. I haven't privatized any of them. It's pretty much all up there. I am also singing tonight at 7 o'clock, or is it 6? 6 to 9 EDT. So I'll probably scope some of that. I'm so glad you all know each other. Yeah, I hope you're all connecting with each other as well. So catch.me is where you can see recordings of all my previous scopes. Thank you. Thank you. So you can catch previous Periscopes. Some of the titles are all messed up. Some of them are on Vimeo too. I haven't gotten to organize. Some of it I will take down eventually, but it's all there. Yes, the replays stay up there. And just remember, it's like learning. Chioma! Hi, Chioma. Chioma scopes her live sketching. And she's also in Fashion Illustration Tribe. Okay. 6 to 9 tonight. But So in closing, since I guess I have to go, teaching my son to drive stick shift today was the hugest reminder of that thing. Thanks for stopping by. You're always inspirational in your scopes, Chioma. Chioma loves, she's Nigerian, right? And you want to bring more Nigerian fashion to the U.S. Thank you for sharing that, Color Joy. That is my address on Catch. You take catch.me and then you put the Periscope address. And if that person is on Catch, all their scopes will be there. That when you're learning something new, you're going to have the shift and the gears and the clutch and the steering and the brake, and you're totally out of sync with all of it. You know what a brake is. You know which foot it is. You know where the gear shift is, and you know how that moves. You know where the clutch is, and you know how to push it, but you have no idea how to bring all those things all together at once. How could you? How could you know without trying? And having someone sit next to you in the passenger seat and saying, this is normal, this you can get, this is normal. You're going to stall the car 100 times at the beginning. And I told him too, I felt like I was on scope. I was like, Lorenzo, it's just like crochet or bicycle riding or whatever. The first 2 rows are so hard. It's so hard to cast on and do your first 2 rows of knitting. Yes, and she even studied, like she's been here forever, but she studied dressmaking in Nigeria for 2 months, I believe. And she sketches. She's shared some beautiful illustrations on my Fashion Tribalistas Facebook group. Really, really, really fun. Awesome. In color. That's Chioma, CJO, with some numbers after it. So you can follow her here. You can meet up with her in the Fashion Tribalistas group too. Stalled my car on purpose before putting the teen in the driver's seat. You have to get comfortable with stalling. As long as you know the car is not going to break because you're stalling it. And that's just it. Pain, discomfort here. Fear over here. If you have discomfort with fear right inside of it, it's a terrifying place to be. But when you have discomfort here and fear is removed from the situation, you taught yourself? That's awesome. See, I don't have a model for that. I learned from my mom, right? I learned that in birth, that birth could be, the birthing process could be very, 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 you had to. That's a great way to learn, is when you just have to learn anything. A stall feels violent. Just like in birthing, the, Miko, for sure, I haven't seen you in so long, Tamiko. You have labor pains, and they're getting more intense, and you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. But if you're not frightened, hi, Tamiko, how have you been? It's been so long. It's like a reunion today. And you scoped twice today. We're going to have to check that out. What did you scope about? From your mom and your grandma. That's so cute. Same with sewing, right? I love these like lineage of mothers. That in the birth, what I learned in birth is that when I learned so much about birth, that my fear was eradicated, I could handle so much of the pain and discomfort. Because that was just something to focus through. Because fear wasn't putting me into despair. And that's how it goes with the art too. And I think another useful part of that as well was reading a lot of books. If you know what time, Dawn, let us know. And please tell everyone right here in a few characters what you scope about in general. Work with, not against. Here's a quote from Max Ryan, my favorite Periscope teacher. What you resist persists. What you resist persists. And I'm going to finish with this. Angie, this is my last story. After the driving lesson today, my son pulled me upstairs like half an hour later. He's like, Ma, look at this video. So there's this show called Bob's Burgers, which ironically my sister-in-law's sister's husband writes for that show. Creativity, refreshment, and journaling. You guys, that's what Dawn Scope's about. She's an artist as well. She didn't actually say art, but do you see that? Follow her. Put up another emoji, Dawn, so we can catch your scope on Tuesday. Yeah. She's also on Instagram. Refresh with Dawn Herring. So he shows me this video. Get this. Bob's Burgers. The father's in a huge empty parking lot with his daughter. Says, I'm going to teach you to drive today. This parking lot's empty. There's only one car in it. Let's drive. Gives her the keys. She starts the car. They're slowly driving across the parking lot. And the girl and the dad. And what happens? The girl's like, oh, and she's driving and she's driving and she's driving. And she drives straight towards the only car in the entire parking lot and can't turn away left and can't turn away right. She's like, you know, like, ends up crashing right into the only car in this huge empty parking lot. What you resist persists. You know, how many times do we do that in our life? Angelina, don't start hitting me.
Mom, you've been on here
Okay,
this for
say hi.
2 hours.
Say hi.
So get off.
What you resist persists.
Get off.
Okay, come here. Sit on my lap for a second.
Get off.
Okay, just say hi to everybody before we'll say hi and we'll say bye. Yes, but you know
Get
what?
off.
Don't we do
Bye.
that?
Get off.
Yeah. For example, my ex-husband,
Bye.
not her dad, but my ex-husband was an alcoholic. So after I was divorced, I was like, no alcohol for me, no drugs, no alcohol. What do you think I attracted in my next 10 relationships? Come here. Come here. What you resist persists. So we need to embrace. Angie, have your first scope. Give one piece of advice. One piece of advice.
Turn periscope off.
That's your advice? Angelina advises that we all get back to living in the moment. Stop it. You know what? What can I do? What can I do? Angie? Lynn says hi. Okay. Are you done? I understand. I understand. Love you. I'm disappointed that she can't give me a little more, you know, it's not right. Single mom, you know, I'm not much of a dad. I try, but all right. Bye, lovely ladies. Blessings. Have a wonderful week. It's normal. That's right. I know that. See, I need you to teach me. Even though I know it, I forget it. We need constant reminders. Thank you for being my soul sisters. Ciao, tribe.